Are you ready to be empowered to live a life of emotional and financial freedom? Well, welcome to Freedom Starts Now. It's the show educating, entertaining, and inspiring with experts around the globe excited to guide you on a journey of exploration. And now, here's your host and freedom facilitator, Karen Theimer.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Freedom Starts Now for another episode for today. I'm super excited about my guest that I'm having on. His name is Geoff Tyson. But, what I'm excited about with this show is that, doing these podcasts is that I actually get to meet some amazing people. And I'm super excited to share them with you on our show, The Freedom Starts Now. So anyway, I am Karen Theimer, and I am chiming in from Ontario. The weather here is crazy hot, and we're supposed to have a big storm today, so I'm excited about that. So let's hope that my internet stays stable because it has been a little bit unstable today. So anyway, I'm going to bring up my guest, Geoff Tyson, and hold on one second. There we go. Hey, Geoff, how are you doing?
Oh, doing great, Karen. How about yourself?
I'm doing amazing. I'm excited to have you here today and our conversation. And tell us a little bit. You're in Houston, correct?
Yes, actually, today I'm coming to you from Galveston, which is about an hour and 10 minutes from Houston. Because we do work in the Galveston area. So yes, but Houston's home base for us right now.
Oh, I love Houston. I have friends in Houston and I miss them so much.
You gotta come down, girl. Come on.
Oh my gosh. When I come to Houston, I'm so looking you up and we're definitely going to get together.
Oh, we're gonna have a blast. No doubt about it. Looking forward to it.
Well, tell us a little bit about yourself. I love listening to you. I love chatting with you. We've had the time to slowly get to know one another.
Well, first of all, again, thank you for having me. And I love the idea of freedom starts now. It comes off, it just oozes out of you, right? I mean, you're all about that and giving back and service. So bravo to you.
Thank you.
Powerful. And a little bit about me, just, because I can take hours to tell you about me, but I won't do that, I promise.
We got some time.
We'll still be here tomorrow. When I was 6.
He's still going on.
No, but it'll be bits and pieces. Currently, again, like you say, I'm in Houston, but to kind of go back, I come from a family of 2 parents, hardworking parents, Karen, and they really, I'll never forget. I asked my dad a question. I said, so later on when I was older, and I said, well, what made you want to have kids, man? Why would you want to get married? Because I was a playboy at that time, right? And I was thinking, why would you want to do that? And he said to me, he said, man, your mom and I, we wanted to have a family. We wanted to raise you guys, and that was our goal. So here we are. There's 5 of us in the Midwest. We're up in Youngstown, Ohio. That Cleveland cold weather area, and really, I was thinking about it earlier today about my childhood, great childhood. I had some struggles too, though, right? And we talk about those struggles, maybe even today in our conversation, because I think sometimes it's those struggles that bring the greatness in us if we're willing to face them, right? Yeah. And it wasn't doom and gloom. I was just that sensitive kid, and I was that one that I wanted hugs, and I saw TV and I said, well, they're hugging. Why aren't they hugging me? You know what I mean? And so I was like, and you don't know where to take that confusion, So parents, if you're having kids in school with all the craziness going on in school today, too, right? Check in with your kids.
Yeah.
Give them a chance to ask questions, right? And ask questions that you really want to have answers to that they have to give you. Give yourself and them a chance to bring back confusion that I had as a kid. So I just learned to stuff it. And I became a great stuffer and dressed up garbage can. But my life didn't end right there. I grew up, but there were other series of things along the way. I became an athlete, and then I was a star, but I was still that kid that nobody liked. You know, I mean, the lingering of those effects as a child. And I tell you these things because those very experiences, Karen, you know, brought fiber to my meaning as I grew old. You know, I mean, they were hidden for a long time, you know, but your whole thing about freedom tells me that, you know, I mean, I wasn't free for a long time. I was trapped by those images and those voices, and you know, but folks like you came along my life and opened doors to other things, and taught me that, you know, and if you want to get better about things, you have to go back.
Yep. Well, that gets me goosebumps. Yeah, you do. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you even experienced that here recently, right? I mean, didn't you just tell me before we came on that you kind of got some openings that maybe you want to tell me about?
Yeah, like we have to, you know, for what I'm learning on this journey. I've been on this journey for 5 years, right? Like on this really, you know, I was so stuck in my past. And for me, and thank you, Geoff, for sharing, because, you know, I'm always learning something new about you, right? And you know, we all have our shit, right?
Yeah, I love it.
And you know, 5 years ago, I decided I was going on a healing journey. I had no idea what that looked like. All I knew is I'm a cancer thriver. I didn't want to get ill again, right? Like I choose to not, right? But what I do know is I understand the body for a big part of it, right? What I do understand is that stress can make you sick, right? So for me, I was like, all right, I'm stuck in my past. I don't know why I feel like crap. And I decided, like I said, to go on a healing journey. And what I've been learning is that, you know, how our mind, body, spirit work and how we hang on to that past. Like we don't want to let go of it because who are we if we do?
Right.
Who are we if we let go of that story that we tell ourselves? I'm not good enough, or this person's fault, or that person's fault, or my parents this, you know, or whatever the story is. But when we let go of that, what I'm learning is we allow things to come in. Like we allow that abundance, we allow that amazing, you know, whatever is in store for us, and we allow opportunities to show up. Right. So yeah, I just came back from a weekend of healing that, you know, it kicked me in the butt. I ended up going to, you know, I remembered something that happened to me as a kid that I was like, I don't want to go there. I don't like that feeling.
No.
It was scary. It made my heart race, my body, you know, anyway, but it's like, but now I understand where my procrastination comes from.
Yeah.
Part of it. Right. And I'm bringing this up for a reason because we all have our stuff and that, you know, but our stuff is what gets us to where we're at today.
That's right.
Right.
Yes.
So,
yeah. And then I have goosebumps listening to you because in my circle, we talk about that series of letting go with claw marks. I mean, you're desperate to hang on to it.
It's like,
oh, hold on, wait a minute.
I'm afraid to let go because who am I without this, right?
Who am I without this? Yeah.
I love sharing an analogy because when I'm going to be actually teaching breath work soon. I'm about to take a course in July, and anyway, that's a whole other discussion. But what I teach people is that, you know, if you think of a deer or gazelle in the wild, right? They get chased by a predator, they run, they're in that fight or flight, right? The body's doing what it's supposed to. Then when it feels safe, it shakes it off and it carries on with its day and eats and does whatever deers do in the day. Humans, we get chased by the bear. We live in fight or flight, and then we hang on to it for dear life.
Yeah.
And we don't want to, this is my shit, right? Not yours.
That's right. That's right.
So, you know.
And it's killing us when we're hanging on to it. I mean, we're dying on the inside. Well, I have in that situation, you know, and just was like, oh, man. And you know, one of my things was because I was a really struggling kid academically, you know, and when football was over, I had to all of a sudden now become a student, and I was a 1.99 freshman year college student that really shouldn't have been there, right? I mean, I really shouldn't have, Karen, but I like anything, I had enough adversity and experiences in dealing with adversity when I made a decision to do something different, right?
Mm-hmm.
And let go of some of that stuff and learned how to study and got good grades, graduated on time, on the dean's list, and I got this corporate job now. So the dumb kid, hey, who you talking about? And that became my identity. But that also became my prison.
Of being called the dumb kid, you mean?
Well, no, the identity to maintain in corporate America.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, the dumb kid, I was like, it wasn't holding me back like it was. There was other things. We replace those stories with other things as we grow, right?
Yeah.
And then corporate America, that corporate guy was who I was supposed to be.
Got it.
But deep down inside, I was still that wounded little boy,
Right?
Yeah.
And it's like, let go of the wounded boy, heal it, feel it. You need to feel it to heal it.
Yeah, that's it.
Feel it to heal it. Like, I don't want to feel it. But yeah. So now you got in, and then you got into real estate.
Yeah. Actually, I left corporate America, Karen, and I built an insulation company. Totally unrelated to what I ever thought I'd do, right? I mean, I had some real estate investments while I was in corporate America. So we talk about streams of income. Always be thinking of ways to earn money while you sleep, and your money's working for you and not working for money, right? So I had passive income properties. I was working in corporate America, and I left that scene and started my own business. And that business was in and around the housing market. And the housing market crashed in 2008. And I was like, oh, what do I do now, right? Because you go from a 7-figure lifestyle to a 1-figure lifestyle, and that's and then it's like but then that led me to real estate.
Got it.
Yeah, I mean, I always wanted to do that, and I got some courage up, and I'm a firm believer also in getting education in areas that you want to learn. If you're moving into something like you're doing, you're working on yourself. So you're venturing into some places that are going to dig down deep and pull out some old cans.
Yep. I don't want to. I do.
Yeah. So then we got involved in real estate back in 2014. And as a real estate investor, I've earned the name King of Rehabs, because we would buy the ugliest, crappiest houses on the block, right? And then turn them into little castles, little treasure chests. So it's been a great experience doing that. Yeah.
Wow. Very cool. And it is important. I'm learning more and more about multiple streams of income, right? And I've always been in a brick and mortar business. One of the hats I wear, I'm a massage therapist, and I love it, but it's trading time for money, right? And I would say in the last couple of years, especially with this whole, I call it the cuckoo times, but with everything, this was the kick in the butt I needed, right? To kind of go, okay, let's take this a little bit more seriously, right? And start finding different ways of, like you say, make your money work for you. Not me always working for my money. I like the passive income, and stuff like that. Right. And real estate is one way. And I actually don't know a lot about real estate. Right. And it is something that eventually I do want to, when the timing permits me to invest in that again. So.
Yeah. I mean, it's the thing about real estate is like anything there. You can go to YouTube University. There's so much information out there. So people that are thinking about trying to figure it out, I would encourage you to take deep breaths and don't try and gobble it all, because, even for me, after being in it a long time, sometimes I listen to some stuff and I'm like, oh, holy smokes, that's way too much, and it's hard for people to appreciate the simplicity of the business. If you have $100,000 and you invest in the stock market, okay, well then find a $100,000 housing project that you can invest in with legitimate investors, right? I mean, understand where your money is supported and backed and secured by, and then learn a little bit more or take smaller amounts of money in projects. And I encourage people, because they're all the wealth, those that have had years and histories of families of wealth all have been tied back to having a certain amount of real estate.
Right.
You know, and so you don't have to have a lot to have success at it.
Right. Like, is there anything, like any questions that people, like how do you find somebody good? Because it's, like, I mean, there's a million people out there, right? And it's like, how do you know what questions to ask, if you're, maybe even if, whether you be in your own country or because I'm maybe one day, hopefully over the next couple of years, I want to maybe get a place in Costa Rica. I wouldn't even have a clue what to start, what to ask, I mean, how do I find somebody? Like, would I, do you deal with people outside of Texas? Like, yeah.
Well, that's a great question that's got a lot of different answers to it.
Probably. I figured that.
It does. And I say that why it's so powerful is that, I always suggest to people that, and there's more and more people wanting to invest outside of their country. Right. And so like anything, it's always good to be able to get connected through referral.
Yes.
Right. I mean, that kind of gives that person some level of, you have more comfort there. You still have to do your due diligence, but, do your own homework enough to where you can understand what it is of the questions that you don't know to ask. Get connected through referrals of people that you can trust that are in that space, and take your time. Don't ever make a decision that you're not comfortable with until you, and learn along the way, because it's not as complicated as it may seem from the beginning.
Got it. Because I'm thinking, because sometimes I'm like people, there was somebody I was speaking with, and then everybody's like, well, did you ask this? Did you ask this? Did you ask that? And I'm like, no, right? But you don't know what you don't know, right? And so. And
then getting people that do know that you can trust will give you questions that you can ask that you don't know to ask.
Right.
And that's the stuff that keeps you out of trouble.
Got it.
Yeah.
What do you do overseas? Like, do you help people over, who want to buy outside of Texas?
I actually have a couple of folks out of Canada, and we're doing it, and just soft communication with some folks in Europe and places like that. But with this type of technology, the world is all of a sudden shrunk into, our computer screen.
Right.
For my world, anyway, it's probably been this way, but, meeting you and part of our group, we meet on Wednesday. I mean, it's a whole new game.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I'm really grateful for this technology, because I wouldn't have met you. Right. I wouldn't have met the group that we meet in on Wednesdays. Yeah. Right. So, and I know, like, I can, when it does come that time, and now that I'm thinking about it, I know, like, you would actually be the first person I would reach out to, going, okay, Geoff, this is what I want to do. Right. And, whether you can help me or guide me in the right direction, it's great to know that, I know, like, and trust you. Right. Yeah. And that's it. Right. People are looking for people to know, like, and trust. Right.
Well, like and trust, Karen. And that's what's so exciting about the place we're in right now, in spite of all the things going on. Right. I mean, we could get caught up in a lot of different distractions externally.
Yes.
But, like you just said, I mean, there are people out there that are looking for other like-minded people that want to be part of the Freedom Starts Now campaign.
It does. Like, it's very true. Right. And again, what is, okay, here's a question for you. What is freedom to you? What does freedom mean to you?
Oh, wow. First thing is that, I can walk into my house and, other than what my wife tells me to do, because I have a boss at home, right? I know it. I'll admit it, right? I mean, I married up, right? So,
One day I'll have to meet her.
You will. She just went out for a walk now, and I was trying to drag her in here, but you'll meet her sometime. But
I'd love that.
it's just choice, you know. I mean, I can decide, make a decision, and there's consequences for my decision. But I can make decisions that solely are made off of what I want to do. You know, I mean, like who I want to get to know, what career I want to do, what you know, how I want to travel. You know, how much money do I want to spend or not spend? I mean, there's so many things that, you know, we take for granted, the little things. I mean, freedom to walk outside and go around anywhere you want to, unrestricted.
Right.
Right. It hasn't always been that way for folks of my origin in the U.S. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, man, I could talk forever about that. I don't know if I answered any of your questions about what freedom is.
No, it's what, yeah, absolutely. You're telling me what freedom is for you, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, a lot of people don't even know what that is. Like when I ask people, like, what does freedom mean to you? And they're like, what do you mean? Right. Because I'll just ask random people like at work or, you know, I'll ask my clients, like, what would the perfect day look like? If money wasn't an issue and the world was a perfect place, what would your perfect day look like? And a lot of people don't know how to think like that. Right. Yeah. So this is how, you know, my business of 50 and Free came up. Right. Because I rebranded myself when I had to close down my business at the beginning of all this. Right. I had to shut down my massage business. And it was like that holy crap moment. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do I need to do? I need to pivot. Right. Yeah. So I rebranded and I was like 50 and Free because that's my story. Right. And I'm still finding more freedom. I feel like I'm free to where I'm at today. Is there more? Oh, God, yeah. Right. Yeah. I want to teach people that you don't have to live in a life of hell, really, right? Yeah. And what they would consider, and maybe not everybody, right? But yeah, and that's where all this came from. And then the freedom starts now. The freedom starts now because it starts with making a decision. It doesn't mean you're going to have that freedom, you know, right this nano of a second. It means, okay, I made a decision of what am I here for?
Yeah.
What does freedom mean? I want emotional freedom. I want financial freedom. I want spiritual freedom. I want geographical freedom.
Yeah.
Right? That's my goal. You know, I feel like I'm well on that way. And then I decided to start doing these shows. And, you know, I don't know where this is going to take me, but I get to meet interesting people like yourself, right?
Well, I think the journey is just beginning for both of us and for you and you know, and you bring not only those things, but, you know, a cancer thriver, you know, I mean, how many people can gain so much from hearing your experience in that space.
Yeah.
You know? And I feel that freedom coming out of you. It's like fire.
Yeah. You know, and I'm on a journey. But it's funny. I'm going to bring up cancer for a second because, you know, I used to always say I'm a cancer survivor. Yeah. And then I heard somebody say that they were a cancer thriver. And I was like, oh, I like that. Yes. And then it was only like recently that I was like, okay, what is the difference between a survivor and a thriver? Right. So I was like, okay, let's actually like get the definition here. Right. And then from what I Googled, you know, survivor means they're still living. They're still a part of like, and maybe I'm not going to explain it right, but basically you're still living in the past. It has to do with being in the past. The thriver is all about moving forward.
Yes.
Right. It's like, I don't want to live in this. Like, yes, I had cancer. It was, frankly, my cancer was the kick in the butt I needed. Right. And I'm actually grateful for it because it really did change my life. Right. In so many ways. Right. But I can do that on another conversation. But yeah. And I don't even know where I was going with that. But anyway, so good. I think I was getting to a point in that I'm like, where am I going with this? But the thriver, the finding the freedom, you know, finding what lights you up and that kind of stuff. Right. And let's go back to the multiple streams of income.
Yes.
And passive income, because yes, I know I'm jumping around a little bit, but that's
okay.
Welcome to my mind, my friend. I'm over here now. I'll show you over there.
Yes.
It's funny because I won a trip to Bali, right? Back in 2019.
Wow.
And I was thinking about that this morning. This is why I'm sort of coming back to this part. When I was in Bali, I was freaked out about going to Bali because I still had that employer mindset, right?
Oh,
because I have my massage business, which I love, but like I said, it's brick and mortar, right? And I was afraid to shut down my business for I think I went 2.5 weeks, something like that. And I was afraid. As you know, I'm part of a network marketing company, right? And this business is doing great and I love it and stuff, but I still had that other mindset mentality. It wasn't until I went to Bali, right? One of my clients is like, Karen, just go to Bali. Don't worry about I'm worried about my clients. Oh God, what are they going to do? They're not going to have me for 2 weeks or 2.5 weeks.
Yeah.
Anyway, so finally I just okay, Karen, I won this trip. What are you thinking, right? Anyway, so I go to Bali. And about a weekend, and I did nothing with any of my businesses, right? Not my network marketing company or anything like that. I didn't do anything with that, and obviously not massaging. And then all of a sudden, I think it was about a week in, I get a message from this company saying, "Oh, we've just now deposited X amount of dollars into your wallet or into your bank." I think at that time. Anyway, and I was like, "Holy! This is the power of residual income."
Yes.
I really had no idea, right?
Wow.
Because I'm so focused as an employee, right? Anyway, so okay, fine. And this morning I was out for a walk and I still have that. I'm because I was thinking, okay, I'm going away for a week. I finally am going to go visit my friend who lives out east, which I'm so excited about. Anyway, she's in New Brunswick. And then I keep thinking of my massage business. I'm thinking like that again. Then all of a sudden I was like, oh my God, that's such old programming.
Yes.
It's part of from my healing journey and stuff. So I'm kind of going through some things.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. This isn't the freedom that I'm looking for, right? The freedom is to be able to go away and still get paid. Right? It's almost like duh. Right? So, and I'm just bringing that up because again, here's all these different ideas I have and different ways my business is going and looking for different ways of helping people and making more income. Right. So what else, do you do? Do you have, we talk about multiple streams.
Well, I also have an education vehicle that I use, Karen, and I want to speak to those folks out there that are thinking, man, I really don't know what to do. I have these desires, I have these skills, and I want to just, one of the things that I've paid attention to is where the world's shifting and where people are going now for resources and where people are having success that they, don't have degrees and they don't have, all these other names and titles, but they're finding success because there's the self-education industry. The educational system at a higher level has some challenges. So people are going to college, they're graduating, and I think it's 60-70% of them never use their major. Out of the majority that use the major, 80% of them don't like it. So, and I don't want to sound like I'm talking against college because I graduated from school, but there's other things that are happening now, right? That people can take advantage of, that really want to do something with their life. Maybe they want to be like you. They want to go through and learn how to do network marketing and be able to go to Valley and get money. How'd you do that? And they're looking for guides now that can do that through technology. So I would, if you really like to do something and you don't know how to do it, then there are people out there that you can connect with, that you can identify with. You'll get to know, you'll get to like, and you'll get to trust. And then maybe one day they can be that guide for you to replace the worry about college education or not having money to get started. You'll find ways to do that. So I do education, real estate training and education, and Conversations with Geoff is another platform, Karen, that I use to get some exposure out to folks that, like you were talking about, the mindset. came back to you, and having that being aware. I screamed aware when you said, "Oh, wait a minute, why am I listening to that?" And you made a shift.
Yeah.
Right? So we want to start talking about the magnificent power we have between our ears.
Yeah.
And being aware of how it impacts us emotionally, physically, and spiritually, and how those three things lined up together, and becoming aware of the old, right, and then replacing that with the new. You have to get in the gym. It's an exercise, right?
Yep.
You're not going to just wake up one day and be relieved.
I am healed. I always sorry, I just came on.
I love you, girl. You're all right, man. Have some fun.
Yeah. You know what? We have so I feel like we could probably talk for, but yeah, we have so much. Like, I just want to teach people really that there's more to life than what you're living, because that was my story, right?
Yeah.
And I've known that since I was a kid, and I still know that as an adult. Well, I still think of me as a kid sometimes, but but it's just really like there's so much that you have control over.
Yes.
In this beautiful head of ours, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that you're helping people. And yeah, I would never, bash the schools and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I never went to college. I think I lasted in college for about 3 months and then I quit, right? So I never had that education.
Yeah.
Right? How that showed up in life later for me was feeling like I wasn't good enough because I didn't have it.
Yeah.
But then I had to find those people that didn't have the college or university degrees. Yeah. Who are extremely successful in doing, big things in this world. Bob Proctor was one of them, right?
Bob Proctor.
Rest in peace. I love Bob.
Yeah, I know. I mean, he lived a life full on, though.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
When you talk about living full speed, he was like, man, to the very end.
Yeah, exactly. And one thing that always stuck with me, what he said was, when I hear people speak, especially my clients and stuff, and I hear a lot of people talk about how, oh, when I retire, I will. It's like, oh my gosh, why not now? Right? Yeah. But one thing that always stuck with me with Bob Proctor was that he said, the day I retire will be the day they put me in the ground. Right? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I love that. Yeah, the day I retire will be the day that I get put into the ground, right? Yeah. Maybe into the ocean. I don't know where I want to be.
Yeah, I'm kind of like that too. I'm not sure where.
I haven't figured that one out yet, nor do I really want to think about it too much. But so is there any wisdom you would like to share before we?
Yeah, I was listening to a friend of mine, and she's done some amazing things. She's come from Canada and kind of or Alaska rather, and came down and is in Austin, Texas now. And she came, by the time they got to Texas, they were broke. And she's now talking about her experience. And she said something, and it was like, God, I wanted to bring it, so I'm going to kind of chop it up a little bit. But the essence of what she said was, do you know what your real gifts are? And are you able to live in them? Are you comfortable living in them? Do we see, are you able to see yourself at your best? And who is that person at your best? And so my comment back to you is, and to everybody listening to this, is that the first response I had, I'll be honest, it was like, well, I kind of wanted to hide, I didn't want to stand into that person that I am. Right? My first thing, stop. Don't do that. What is it, Geoff? Who are you? Right? With that hesitation, if I hadn't and still work on quieting the noise, because it never goes away.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it never does, but it doesn't have to hold you down like we talked about at the beginning. You don't have to, you can let it go. And letting go, the gift in life is when you really let go. Right? And trust the next step. To be the step you're supposed to take. And don't worry about being perfect. Right? I mean, I'm so far away from that, And free from that. I have that freedom. No longer do I have to worry about what people think of me.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so true. It's so true. Yeah, it's letting that go. And no, we're not perfect. I'm still figuring out how to open up my show here, right? Like I'm like, okay, what do I want to say? And then in my head, I have one thing, and what comes out as there. And then once I get chatting, then it's like it's all like, but that's okay. This is how we learn. I am new to doing these podcasts, these shows, and I don't know. Like it just, am I worried about perfection? No, because I know it's going to get better and better and better the more I do, right? So. Whatever that is, but
it's real though. I mean, you just keep showing up as Karen. That's what we want to see.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Thank you.
Really?
And people who's ever watching, you need to watch Geoff's show called Conversations with Geoff. He's got some amazing guests on his show. I love listening to you. You're just so calming and just so like, yeah, this is it. And I'm talking to some cool people and.
Well, like today, we are chatting and I mean, you're fit for this. Where you are right now, you are fit for this.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. So anything else you want to share? How do people find you? How do they contact you?
Yeah, I put some information in the chat.
I'm still figuring that out.
Yeah, me too. So let me correct something so my wife doesn't say, well, you spelled that wrong. Hey. And she's right.
I can't even see. So I'm still new to StreamYard here. I'm still even trying to find where your comments are. The Breakthrough Show says, "Happy Thursday. Welcome to the show, Geoff." Sorry, I forget to look.
I love your entry, by the way. I mean, that's like, man, I'm getting ready to be on CBS or something. Oh, yeah, it is for both of us, right?
That's right.
So I put it in the chat and Conversations with Geoff, like you said, thank you for mentioning that. And Facebook, Transcending Lives, New Real Estate Investors. And we actually have a challenge called The Power of the Bridge that we're starting 6/29. My marketing director is going to kill me because she asked me to move it to the middle of July. So that might change. But be on the lookout for, a challenge called the Power of the Bridge. And that's designed specifically for professionals 40 to 60 plus, earning a certain income level and that are married and have always wanted to get involved in real estate, but not sure where to start.
Got it. Very cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. Follow Geoff. Okay. I see where you put, now I see where you put that. That's in private chat. I don't know how to change that over. Anyway,
I don't either, so they don't see it.
I'll make sure I get your information up once I figure out how to do that. But it's there. It's there. So anyway, well, thank you, Geoff. Thank you so much for this conversation. I know you and I could talk for a really long time, and there's just so much. And like I said, I love meeting the people in this world. And I want to just share one last thing is that, after the weekend of, I went on a healing retreat and I felt like afterwards, I'm like, I feel so alone. Like I felt like I was by myself. And then, I had to go through what I had to go through. And then I had a lot of ahas this morning on my walk. And this morning I'm like, oh my God, I am never by myself. I have so many people that I can reach out to. But the most important is I have myself. Right?
Yeah.
Well, I have me that I have great conversations with myself at times, let me tell you. But one thing I really realize, and anybody who's listening who feels like they are alone, you are never alone. So please feel free to reach out to somebody. Feel free to reach out to us. I'm always, available for, a conversation. Go on my website. So 50 and free. But anyway, thank you, Geoff. Thank you as always. And I look forward to one day meeting you in person and not on this computer. But we take what we can get right now, right?
That's right. Right. Thank you again for having me.
You're so welcome. And we will see you soon.
All right, Karen. Thank you.
Take care. Bye for now. All righty. Thank you, everybody, for chiming in today to Freedom Starts Now. Please follow us on the Breakthrough Show, and I am here. I am running this show every first and third Thursday at 1:00 Eastern Time. If you want to reach out, you want to chat, you want to learn more about what I do, my website is 50andfree, spell it out, 50andfree.ca. You can follow me on Instagram. I am on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I'm still slowly navigating my way through LinkedIn and TikTok. And so anyway, thank you very much. Have a great day, and we will see you soon. Take care, and love you guys. Bye for now.
Thank you for watching Freedom Starts Now with Karen Theimer, only on the Breakthrough Show Network. Please visit our website at thebreakthroughshow.com to catch all past episodes and, of course, connect with Karen. Until next time, break free and find freedom.